Greetings, families. Welcome back once again. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This video is about President Ibrahim Traore. A day before his birthday, he met with women, children, leaders to discuss something that is very close to his heart, because last year they met and he told them that he wants the widowers, the orphans, he wants a special file for them. They want to know amount of people that are left behind, because this is very close to his heart. Yes, they have met again, and the development, what went on, and the plans that he has for them. It's a lot in 26 minutes speech. I divide it into two. So families, please listen to the part one, and I'll be back with the part two. There's a lot in this. See you soon, families.
Thank you for coming in such large numbers to this conference of Vivi of the Orphans, which is the first of its kind since the beginning of terrorism. I am very happy to be here this evening to listen to the grievances, if I may say so, but also to find quick solution paths to the socio-economic conditions of the wives and orphans of our comrades who paid the price with their lives. But before anything else, I wish for us to take a minute to pray for the repose of the souls of our comrades who fell on the field of honor for the homeland. We pray for them. We continue to pray for all those who have gone before us. So we will not disappoint them, because we do not want to continue dwelling on our fates. We will avenge them, and we will avenge them forever. All those who have taken up arms against our homeland will perish. Burkina Faso will be the graveyard of terrorism. I promise you that. We will ensure that we continue the equipping, training, and recruitment of the Burkinabe youth to defend our homeland, and that we can bring back the much-inspired development in Burkina Faso for the happiness of our people. So be honored for those who sacrificed their lives so that we could be here today, and continue to pray for all those who keep fighting so that our homeland endures. This is a war that was imposed on us. We have no choice but to fight, and that's what we are doing. Today, more than ever, we have the initiative on the ground, and we are avenging, day by day, all those who, since 2015, have lost their lives in this fight. We cannot imagine the pain of everything, each one, but we know that you are the heroes. During our absences, only God knows how you suffer. Whether we return or not, women continue to suffer at home. Children suffer greatly from our absence. It's painful, but be sure of one thing: it's for the homeland. And all we can do is think how to take care of you so that this pain can be eased. I think that is the very essence of this conference that has brought you together, so that we can find more solutions that come from yourselves. It must be said, it has been 10 years now that we have been fighting, because the first terrorist acts appeared in Burkina Faso since 2015. But in 2023, I therefore requested that we have a fairly clear database. First, on the injured for their care after visiting them at the Camp Sangoulé hospital. And we realized that we do not have an exhaustive file of our injured. We also held a conference with them last year, which allowed us to identify many potential solutions. However, we need to have a clear file. And this allowed us in 2023 to simultaneously reflect on the files. If we do not have the file of our injured, we need to see if we have the file of those who remain. After our fallen heroes, that is, the babies and the orphans, we also realized that we do not have a database reliable. That's why I think that recently we have been working to develop an application from which people can register. And I was informed in any case that the application is ready and should be launched. In the hours or days to come, all mechanisms will be implemented to assist those who cannot register. Similarly, to support them so they can register and so that we first have a comprehensive, clear record of all those who have sacrificed everything for the country. It is from there that we can truly provide support. Here are the wives that you are and our children, whom you continue to support. But before all that, we have taken a number of measures to be able to support as much as possible. The file will therefore give us the scope of the situation and allow us to take distant measures. And it is in this sense that the sub-VIG was created, because if we want to effectively act in favor of our injured, widows and orphans, we need to have an agency specifically dedicated to that. Because there are many services, and I know that many of you are often bothered, even by the array of associations or services that continue to call you left and right for certain things. We want to standardize all this data. That's why the ZOBIG was created. And I think you will contribute through representatives at the ASAVIC level to handle a certain amount of data. I'm already pleased with the first point that was raised, namely finding an umbrella organization that will bring together all the widows in Burkina Faso. That's already a very good start. With the database, I think it will be very easy to do. And it's from there that we can act consistently in your favor. Let's return to the point that was raised here. When I consider the case of women's empowerment, as you mentioned, it's necessary to move towards that so that every woman can have enough to feed her family. That's it. The very essence of what we want to do. It's an imperative. Otherwise, how are we going to educate the children? How are we going to take care of the children? So, in this context, you mentioned a number of measures that can be considered, and we will think about the case of those who have attended vocational schools, academic degrees, the Ministry of Public Service, even already thinking about it, about the issue of quotas, especially also the training centers, when we have already initiated on a small scale, but it is not globalized. And I say again, the file will allow us to have a mapping because there are those who are in the big cities. But it is necessary that through the files, we can know how many women come, for example, from Guarom, how many women come from Nyangologo, how many women come from Nuna, and so on. This will allow us to have, based on the geographical situation, the proportion of women, and we can decide to set up specific centers in certain areas of the country to provide support. But already, with everything you have said, I can tell you something. We are in a dynamic of being able to integrate you gradually, whether they have diplomas or not. Already, those who benefit from training, whether in agriculture, soap making, catering, and others, we are in the process of restructuring many funds at the government level. So this year, I was able to see the report, for example, of the funds we have named. Paso Kunaguli. They have given loans amounting to approximately 7 billion. Those who benefit from the loan, the purpose for which they take the loan, I have given instructions to redirect the loan towards quite strategic objectives. You will be able to benefit from the loan in these structures. The FARF that you know well, which we are also revitalizing, is in favor of all women. And if the file is clear, we can therefore have particular advantages so that you can also have funds there to be able to set up. There is the fund that existed for financial inclusion, which we recently transformed into an agency at the Council of Ministers that you followed. It has become the agency for the promotion of financial inclusion, and we want to equip them so they can support you. It is the fund dedicated to small and very small enterprises, especially women entrepreneurs, to be able to have the minimum credit and be autonomous in their employment. In addition to all that, those who want to venture into agriculture or agricultural processing, we also want to replenish the ANCAFA fund so that you can apply. And once we have a clear enough file, if you apply, ASAVIC will see how to interact with all these funds to facilitate and monitor what you are going to undertake. So we do not wish to just train you and leave you. we want to train you, support you to establish yourself, and enable you to work. When I take, for example, the field of soap, those who produce soap, it's not just about production. Often, selling also becomes complicated. Therefore, we have also undertaken measures already with the Prime Minister so that our administration can consume what we process locally. The instruction has either already been given or will be given so that through the umbrella organization, we can consume what you will be able to process. So you will be prioritized. There will be several industrial units for processing because as part of the agricultural initiative, we are doing a part for the military. And we are training the defense and security forces to produce. And who will process the production? It's you. And we will set up industrial units on site so that you can work in these units and be able to process what the military will produce so that it can be distributed within the Army's economy. So on this aspect, we are not worried. We have already taken many initiatives and we have a fairly clear plan so that you can be employed properly and be at ease. All we ask of you is to really register on the platform so that we have a clear record. And there, LASVABIG will be able to support you in everything you want to undertake. Already there are certain industrial units that have been launched, notably Texforce, which is the Army's textile industry. I think that you too are prioritized for everything related to employment. So at the level of this industrial unit in Bobo Dioulasso, I want to inform you that you are prioritized in this recruitment, up to a certain category that is not technical, particularly related to the handling of machines and everything involved. So there are many initiatives being taken in this direction so that you can truly be autonomous. And for me, as I say, I was telling the young people in all, the idea is not necessarily to integrate people into the public service. Because I said, we need to remove the mindset of public service from our heads, but we must manage to produce wealth. There you go. So, entrepreneurship, industries, we are engaged in this process so that you can truly have decent, permanent jobs and be able to take care of families. Still speaking, in this regard, as you have requested to create more training centers, the mapping will allow us to know what type of center and where to create it. If we create centers without knowing where they are concentrated, where the RFNs are concentrated, we will not be able to be effective. So, through registration on the platform, we will be able to map and choose the appropriate locations to establish training centers. You train and integrate into everything we do in terms of industrialization. We are only at the beginning. I can assure you that there will be many industries that will be established in Burkina Faso by the private sector as well as the public sector. And also by the private sector, we are discussing with them to create companies where you will have priority in certain jobs. And I think many people have embraced this. In particular, I visited the waste treatment industry in Pozodo. Almost 100% of the women working there are FDS. Regarding the salary delegation, I even asked the question just today. I was reassured that the process is almost complete, so I think that in the coming days it will be resolved. So we are aware of all the suffering behind this situation. I think it's almost okay now. It often takes a bit of time because all of this is related to the lack of files. The lack of files is really a very serious problem. Once all of this is resolved, I think it will behave better. Because if we don't know, anyone could come forward claiming to be, well, our women, fallen heroes' wives. But a certain minimum of proof is needed. You yourself have spoken of conflicts, often between the in-laws and the newcomers. It's not easy. We have experienced this kind of situation, and all precautions must be taken to ensure that you are the beneficiaries. For the harmonization of decrees, I think this is a point that we will quickly look into at the level of the national armed forces and internal security forces to see how we can harmonize compensations and see what is feasible. On this aspect as well, I think you are gradually seeing the creation of the COMIPEC, which is being established. And these questions of compensation and all that soon, it will shift to the level of the COMIPEC because it really creates a lot of problems for the families. We have been on the ground, we have witnessed these situations. Particularly, I lost a soldier in the meantime. In addition to compensation, within the unit, we often contribute to support our wife and children who remain. But for the first time,
Thank you so much, families, for listening. Wow, there's a lot of plans. You heard it all. I'll bring the part two a bit later. God bless you all, my returning families, my new ones. Thank you so, so much. Credit to Faso 7 and our TB News. See you soon, families. Bye bye.